Hello and welcome. I am Rajesh Pawar and you're watching this special broadcast from Kyiv. The Ukraine-Russia war has entered day 24 and over the next 20 minutes I'll take you through the latest developments straight from the war zone.
Його не може весь світ зупинити.
Russia ups the ante against Ukraine on day 24 of its invasion. Massive destruction across Ukrainian cities. UN estimates nearly 6.5 million people have been displaced in Ukraine and over 3.2 million have fled the country. At least 112 children have lost their lives since the beginning of war. Here's a report.
Russian missiles, rockets continue to rain on Ukrainian cities. No respite from the ferocious Russian onslaught. Buildings on fire, plumes of black smoke from houses and high-rises. Destroyed infrastructure. The scenes across Ukrainian cities are of absolute devastation. The city of Kharkiv has faced the heaviest damage in unsparing bombardments. Fire raging in once posh residential neighborhoods. Mariupol is charred beyond recognition. Heavily damaged residences and destroyed commercial establishments narrate the ferocity of the strikes. At least 130 civilians were rescued from the rubble of the theater used for refuge. It was bombed earlier by Russia. Many more are still feared trapped.
I want everyone to hear me, especially in Moscow. The time has come to meet, to talk. The time has come to restore territorial integrity and justice for Ukraine. Otherwise, Russia's costs will be so high that you will not be able to rise again for several generations.
Kyiv has witnessed heavy shelling that destroyed residential buildings and also resulted in multiple injuries and casualties. But the Ukrainian army has been able to hold the Russian troops at bay, stalling their advancement towards Kyiv. But the city is now completely deserted.
I'm here in Kyiv, in the Independence Square. I would just like to show you around how this city looks like, the center of the city in the fourth week of war. Everywhere it's quiet, there are no people around. It's like a totally deserted city, and this is what Kyiv is in the fourth week of war.
A country on brinks. Many Ukrainian cities are reporting mass casualties despite being largely deserted. The deaths of children in the war has crossed 112. Over 65 lakh Ukrainians are now homeless. With Rajesh Pawar in Kyiv, Bureau Report, India Today.
As Russia steps up the offensive over Ukraine, missiles and rockets rain on Ukrainian cities. But Ukraine shows immense resilience as Russia is still unable to capture a single Ukrainian city completely. Here's the report.
This is the extent of the damage after parts of a Russian missile fell on a residential building in the northern part of Ukrainian capital Kyiv. At least one person was killed and 4 injured.
See, the missile hit our building. All apartments are totally destroyed. I don't know where I'm going to live now, where I'm going to work. I don't know to carry on living. And who is going to help me?
The emergency services said that they had rescued 12 people and evacuated another 98 from the 5-story building.
The missile fell. It fell down and there was nothing left of the apartment. I'm barely alive myself. Yes, I'm from that building. I guess I will no longer live there. A bomb arrived in the morning. Some kind of a rocket. I don't know. A projectile. I've heard it just because I live here, behind a school. So I just came here to have a look and offer my help if needed.
More than 3 weeks since Vladimir Putin launched an invasion, Ukraine is still standing and Russian forces have not captured a single big city. But Russia continues its offensive. 4 missiles hit an aircraft maintenance facility in the western Ukrainian city of Lviv, destroying its buildings. Ukraine's military says the facility was struck by cruise missiles launched from the direction of the Black Sea.
Enemy's strike against the city of Lviv is another proof that it does not fight Ukrainian troops. It fights population, children, women, refugees. There is nothing sacred for them.
In Mariupol, a city that has been under relentless Russian attack, this is what remains of the theatre that was bombed. The theatre was serving as a bomb shelter. Since the start of the invasion, over 24 days ago, Russian troops have taken heavy losses while blasting residential areas to rubble and sending more than 3 million refugees fleeing. Moscow denies it is targeting civilians in what it calls a special operation to disarm its neighbor. Bureau Report, India Today.
Thousands of people are stranded in a major Ukrainian port city that is being bombarded by Russian forces as they try to seize control. Several buildings in Mariupol have been reduced to rubble, with the battle now reportedly approaching the city center. Here's the more on the story. Explosions and air sirens in Odessa are heard more often every day, a sign that for Odessians, peace may still be far away. Civilians are hiding in the tunnels underground that have come to the rescue of the locals during previous wars. It's day 24 of the invasion, and the Russian onslaught over Ukraine continues. Attack on airfields, charred houses, and bloodbath on the streets of Ukraine. The horrifying visuals that emerged show the extensive damage to the cities of Ukraine.
Bloodbath on the streets of Ukrainian cities. Dilapidated buildings, charred markets, once brimming with life and activity, Ukrainian cities now in ruins. The capital city of Kyiv continues to be in the eye of storm with relentless bombardments. In a bid to capture the capital, Russia has been launching missile attacks on residential and commercial buildings. The extent of damage of the attacks on Kyiv is horrifying. The city of Kharkiv is in ruins. The Russians have attacked the main commercial establishments of the area. Back-to-back shelling on large markets and residential buildings have caused a lot of damage to the infrastructure of the city. Multiple buildings have been reduced to rubble. The city of Mariupol has been one of the worst hit. Missile attacks on the city have left the buildings charred with smoke billowing out. Once bustling, it is now a ghost city. After Russians bombed a theatre-turned-shelter where thousands took refuge, 130 people were rescued from under the debris, while many others are still feared trapped. Kramatorsk city in Donetsk wears a deserted look. The buildings are in shambles, the trees burnt and falling apart. Russian attacks have ravaged homes of many in the city as smokes continue to emerge from residential buildings. One of the largest markets in Eastern Europe, Barabashevo, was shelled by the Russian military on Friday. The massive shellings have completely damaged the market. Massive fire raging on in multiple shops. Plumes of black smoke engulfing the entire market. The outskirts of Kyiv, Vyshgorod, paint a devastating picture. The town witnessed relentless shelling in the last few days, resulting in massive fires. Many commercial and industrial establishments ablaze in the strikes. Bureau Report, India Today.
A generation of Ukrainians who knew of war only from the history books and the stories of their grandparents have been forced to prepare to fight, and some are choosing to do it with the partners they were building their lives with. We leave you with these visuals of a training center in the southern city of Odessa, where young urban professionals are learning to handle weapons to save their motherland.
Ставили, ведем огонь, быстро уходим. Быстро. Хорошо.